Welcome to Career Mantras, your YouTube channel where we discuss various topics which would help to walk into the forest of career. In today's topic, we will see about focus and why to focus in the professional work, and more importantly, how to focus. Whenever we speak about focus, it's always spoken in a context of a student life or a child's life, but very less cases we speak about focus in a professional world. And I wonder why is it so? And there is one curious thing about that. When we speak about focus and start analyzing about focus, it requires a lot of focus. So that's a circular problem number one. And if you think about why is it important, and in my experience, I've seen the difference between a professional who is 70% focused, the percentage being something arbitrary, and a professional who is 800% focused is very huge. And the reason is that in every activity, if you are 30% more focused, imagine what you would become in 5 years. Somebody who's incredible. And the focus is directly proportional to your success. What do you want to focus? How long can you focus? And your breadth of focus will decide your success in a lot more way than actually talent in the new way. And we will see some of the reasons why you lose focus. In the physical plane, the number one reason is diet, your lack of sleep, and also the lack of exercise. People think that if you have passion, then you might be able to focus more. While that is true in the beginning stages, and maybe also in the intermediate stages, physical health is extremely important. And if you want to sustain focus long term, then it's all the more factor, maybe the number one factor, in my opinion. The second is more of a Zen Z reason where we practice distractions. What I mean by practicing distractions is that uh, take an example of Instagram Reels. While it seems very harmless, you are actually practicing your concentration to be fixed only for 30 seconds. And you continuously practice that. So, in your mind, you actually tend to train your mind to a distracted world. That if you go for a focused mind, it feels like a fish out of water and goes back to the distracted world. Responsibility overload, where you take up a lot of responsibilities for various reasons, and that overloads you and that stresses you. Wrong expectations in an activity. Imagine if you're in a meeting where you're creating a proposal, and if you think you're owning the proposal, while the actual expectation is only to review the proposal, you could be doing a lot of things and not getting a lot of support because primarily your expectation is wrong. And that will reduce your focus because you're completely overwhelmed. We go to then something specific. In situations like meetings, you get a lot of information overload. And if you don't have a method to it, you do get defocused quite soon. And if you're a person where you try to control each and everything, which is impossible in the new world, then you tend to stress yourself and then easily get defocused on that. Other crucial reason these days that I've seen is that if you don't find any connect with the activity you're doing, a little emotional connect or a connect of relevance, then you feel zoned out. Absence of plan, if you don't have a plan, split it into tasks and try to do it in a big bang way, you will very soon get tired and get defocused. Now let's see some of the simple ways in which you can get back the focus. First step, very very simple, 7 hours of sleep, 30 minutes of exercise, and then a moderation in food, which means that a decent amount of caffeine and less sugars, more proteins. I think these are good you know, thumb rules to follow to have, and plenty of water, of course, right, to have very good health. Second, on the mental plane, as we discuss, think about how can you reduce distractions. It could be reducing the time you spend in a particular app like Instagram, or if it's about your company chat like in Outlook or in Gmail chat, try to see how can you bring in some sort of a discipline wherein you don't have to respond every chat message periodically, but you set some expectations to to reduce the number of pings or having the need to respond quickly on this. A pleasure oriented life where your fundamental orientation is only pleasure and not value, then you might get distracted in multiple things. And just like how you have to exercise your body, it is crucial that you exercise your mind through simple mindfulness techniques. You can Google about or do an YouTube search about mindfulness techniques. My easiest way is to, just slowly inhale and exhale for 10 times and observe how the inhalation exhalation happens. You might have noticed that I skipped the last point about philosophy. Uh, I think the discussion on focus is incomplete if you don't focus on your fundamental perspective about how you see life. That will entirely decide your mindset with which you approach every activity, and that mindset will drive your focus. For example, if your fundamental drive is being always pleasurable, then you will notice that pleasure has an expiry date and you might have to keep changing things often, so which will reduce your distractions. On the other hand, if you think that life is a struggle, then it is quite possible that if you keep it at healthy levels, you will approach everything with a lot of attention because you have a fundamental challenge to overcome struggles. If you think everything is a playground for achievement, then you will look things with curiosity, with ownership, and that gives a lot of strength to have the focus. If you are a person who avoids pain, then you are in constant search for what will give me pain, and you have to, be always in a decision mode in every meeting, every activity, whether to do this activity or not do this activity, and that will completely derail your focus. And if you're in a process to discover yourself, then every activity will give you joy as it will help you to discover one part of yourself. And if you're like a Zen person who thinks that life is a mixture of pain and pleasure, oh, that's a great attitude to have for focus. Now, coming to the last few slides, a few things which will help you from a professional point of view is that to have a healthy boundary on the responsibilities you are going to take and what is your stake in each responsibility. If you try to put your a finger in every responsibility, you are going to leave yourself unsatisfied and in a panic mode, which will uh, keep your span of attention very less. And if you are having an activity, try to break that into smaller chunks so that your mind has to focus one at a time and a smaller thing at a time. Most importantly, have some sort of an emotional connect between you and the work you're doing. If let's say you are writing a proposal, think about why is it important for you, what you will get after doing that, why is it important for your company and all that. And think of and be very clear about are you owning this activity, or you just reviewing it, what is your stake, that has to be clear. And if you're in a meetings, have a paper and pen, have some notes so that notes is a great way to maintain concentration and to reduce the information overload because it will capture the patterns in a simplified way. And if nothing else, if you're in critical situations and if you're in a panic mode and you can't focus, remember that sometimes just showing up is a huge success, and that itself will reduce our anxiety, which gives us a focus. And if you find this is all too much for me, can you tell me something, very simple which I can follow on daily basis? This is what I will say. And I'm going to switch the perspective entirely different from what I've spoken earlier. Step one, watch out for your emotions throughout your day. Watch the body sensations. Im- uh, just feel just observe what emotion you are feeling. Step back from that emotion, then just note back what is that emotion, because you can't control that emotion very quick. But after that activity, think about why did you feel that emotion? What is the underlying cause? Is it a valid one or is it an invalid one? If it's a valid one, try to find out how to manage it. If it's invalid, tell to your mind that there is a cure for it and you don't have to worry about it. Now keep repeating this. When you do this often, you will find that your mind is very free to have an amazing focus. If you like this video, yes, please do like it, share with your friends, and do subscribe to my channels. Focus is a very, again, to summarize in a few words, focus is extremely important for your professional life. And emotional regulation, having a clear goal, uh, and breaking into tasks, and a healthy body and mind are some of the aspects which you have to remember for having a very good focus.